Hey, if you are happening by and seeing this video and you're like, what is that guy up to? Let me assure you, you'll be just fine. Fast forwarding about 5 minutes into the video. First few minutes, I'm just setting up the links on the website and waiting for people to load in and all of that good stuff. So it's sort of this weird, awkward time when you have clicked on play that video and nothing really is going on, and you're like, what is that guy doing? Why am I wasting my time here? Why you're wasting your time here is that if you haven't been to the website, denverguitarorchestra.com, you may or may not know that what I do here is teach people how to play fingerstyle guitar from the bottom level to the top level. Not the very top level, because you got to be legit in order to make it to the top level. But if you want to just enjoy making music and getting better and learning to play guitar in a way where you don't have to sing, that you're in the right spot. I am got everything posted online now. I think I'm going to double check that things link properly, and then we should be able to get started. Let's see, I'm running a teeny bit behind today, so click on that, opens up to Clementine. Beautiful. Now, truth of the matter is that not that many people really are dying to play Clementine, but you should be. Elizabeth is here. She's dying to play Clementine. Elizabeth, hey, Gary, do you have Moon River for the guitar? Sound is good. Yes, I do have Moon River for the guitar. Let me book 4. Well, does not exist. Does 2. Hold on. Let me double check. I'm 99% sure it's in that book. Downloads, guitar, book 4 complete. Down, table of contents. It turns out I don't have everything memorized that I do, and so sometimes I'm like, what? Yeah, I have Moon River for guitar, and Elizabeth, I would bet money it's the same, almost the exact same skill set. Let me just go double check. Minstrel Boy, Moon River. Yeah, dead on exactly the same in the key of, even in the key of G, right? So, hey, Kathy. Yeah, so if you want Moon River for guitar, just toss me an email and I'll send it to you. We will probably work on that as a Thursday night song eventually. One of the things that the Thursday night group, I've been wanting to really push for new music every week, and I'm not going to be able to keep up at that pace for 30 weeks in a row. So I'll probably toss in an existing one from time to time. A few of these songs are worth actually studying on their own as opposed to outside of the Denver Guitar Orchestra. And uh, so we'll probably be doing it as a Thursday night one eventually. Um, all right. So, guys, you're here for Clementine. Kathy, good to see you. Got a couple other folks hiding out up here in the widget. Glad you're here. I don't need, there's no requirement to chat. I just, if you feel like it, do it. If you don't feel like it, don't do it. It doesn't matter. We're going to be working on Clementine today. And Clementine is my favorite unreliable second favorite. Let's put it that way. Well, that's not true. It's my number one favorite, least most horrible narrator type song that I know of. So in this song, Clementine dies. Clementine is the poor daughter of a miner, and we know she's poor because she wears boxes for her shoes, and she wears those boxes as she's chasing ducklings into the water, and she trips, hits her foot, falls in, and drowns. The narrator, if you only go through the first 4 stanzas, appears to be kind of a bad guy. Pele, you made it! Yay! How exciting! Oh boy, we got a serious crew of musicians were loaded in here today. I better say something smart. Um, Clementine dies. The narrator appears to do nothing whatsoever to save the poor girl because he doesn't. He, or I suppose it could be a she, does not know how to swim. And the subsequent tragedy of her falling in and drowning and the narrator doing nothing about it is that poor Clementine's father kills himself. And then the narrator is then haunted by the ghost of Clementine coming out of the water. And then, to make matters much worse, the narrator solves all of his problems or her problems by kissing Clementine's sister, and helps him or her forget the tragedy of Clementine. So we've got a really crummy narrator. He's a really bad person. He or she. I don't know if it ever says if it's a he or she. It actually, if you think of it as a she, it actually makes the song way more interesting. Um, and so that's what's going to go on in the song. Now, people are not banging down the doors to play Clementine. It is the number one most requested song at Red Rocks. We wish. But what's nice about Clementine is you have an A chord and you have an E7 chord, and that's pretty much going to take care of the whole song, right? So we're taking those level one chords that we learned early on, which was A and E. And then instead of doing an E chord on this song, we do an E7, so you just lose the ring finger. Gives it a little bit of a tension, a little bit of old school sound, and then you go back to the A. Okay, so when we're talking, so those two things are just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If you are thinking of, hey, I need a way to improve my songwriting skills, I think two chord songs are actually quite challenging and really, really fun to work on, where you can say, I'm only going to use two chords. I'm going to use the main chord and whatever the secondary chord is, and then I'm going to find a way to turn that into a song. It's a lot of fun to limit yourself in that way, because the melody magically also gets a little bit limited, and that means that your lyrics actually have to play a more important role. When the melody is limited, the chord choices are limited. You're probably looking at rhythm is more important, and the story behind the song is fairly important. I think it's a little bit of the reason why Tom Dooley got so famous. It's a stupid song, but boy, everybody that's ever heard it knows it automatically because of just two chords, basic, relatively basic melody, that's got moves around quite a bit, but it's basic, and so then the words become more important. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing. Let's run through the chords. Let's sing and strum it. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, everybody crammed into the second fret. Okay, on A chord, we really want to just play these 5 strings. We don't want to play the 6th string. It's not the end of the world if you do, though. Okay, you're playing an A chord. This is an E string that's in the chord of an A, so it sounds okay. It's not the best. Much better to start on 5. Your other chord is E7. I always tell people just make an E chord. Okay, that's from level 1, index, middle, ring. Just make that chord, and then take your ring finger off. And if you listen to it, you can really quite clearly hear on a guitar the difference. Here's E. Very complete, very whole, very round. You'll go out on a date with that chord. That chord is making a lot of sense to you. And then when we make a 7th chord, we're going to lift this up. This is all of a sudden going to turn into a teenage boy. It's all full of angst trying to become something else. So if I take it off and turn it into an E7, listen to the difference. Wom, wom. I'm full of angst and challenges, and I need to become an A. So that's what this 7th feeling does. Create some tension to resolve to the main chord. Okay. Let's sing a few verses. I don't know. Probably the first verse and maybe let's do the first verse and the last verse. Back in the day when I was a little boy and we would go to church, it was pretty typical. You'd do the first verse, the second verse, and the last verse. That was sort of how we always did church songs. And then when I was in my 20s and my mother wanted me to go to church, every now and then she'd say, you need to come to church. And I'd be like, okay, Mom. And I would go to her Sunday school class. The guy who was running it back in those days would sing every single verse in this song. And so, and you know, a lot of church songs have a lot of verses. And so when you open it up, you say, all right, we're going to do this song on page 457. And you open it up, the first thing you look at is how many verses does this thing have? so, um, so just know this has 7 verses and it's 6 too many. If you are next level player, even if you're not a next level player, first time through, maybe strumming makes sense. It's a beautiful. We're in 3, so it's 3 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you're next level player, be thinking about claw. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you're next level beyond that, let's be thinking about an arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or more likely in a situation like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or even better, 2 triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, if you look at the music, it really is set up as 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So even though it's in 3, 4, it probably would have made more sense, possibly, to set this piece in 6, 8, because pretty consistently, um, at least in, well, I guess it's not consistent. There are some measures that really want to be 6/8 and some measures that want to be 3/4. And so you might be thinking about, hey, on those measures where it feels like it's in 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On other measures where it feels like it's in 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you have a lot of options when you're thinking about how am I going to attack my right hand on this. I'm probably just going to strum, and maybe I'll strum the first time and then pluck the second time, something like that. Get your A chord on. 1, 2. Oh, let me check the first note. The first note's going to be this note. And that's the note I want to get to. 1, 2. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Go to the last verse. How I miss her, oh, I miss her, how I miss my Clementine. Till I kissed her little sister, then forgot my Clementine too. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Okay, so that's it. Super fun. The more goofy you make it. I think there's another song out there based on this melody, something about spaghetti, but I don't remember for sure if that's true or not. Um, and I think with this one, when you're talking about being a chord player, you're really thinking A, E7, A, E7, A, E7. The more fingerstyle guitar you play, the more likely it is you're going to be playing in the key of A an awful lot, because A chord is followed up by chords that are very conveniently located and very easy to get to on the guitar. So there's going to be a lot of A, key of the A, and a lot of key of D, because D is also super cooperative. G is pretty cooperative. G has a tendency to get a little out, a little stretched out. But D chord, the key of D and the key of A are very comfortable guitar chords, and so you're going to play in that a lot. So that's why getting from A to E and back is going to become a really very normal thing for you to do. And so just keep working on that. The other takeaway from that is various ways to do your right hand. Plucking with all fingers, arpeggiating with just one finger at a time in some type of pattern. Again, also very, very important type stuff. Okay. Then that's how normal guitar classes go. Here's the chords, here's the lyrics, we sing it through 27 times, and then I send you out into the world and you're a guitar player. And then about 6 months from now, the guitar ends up in the case, and the case ends up underneath the bed, and that's the end of that. Okay. In order to avoid that, you want to actually learn to play this without your mouth being on. And then it becomes a daily crossword puzzle for you. Every single day you get a new challenge with a new song, with new tablature, and every single day it won't really matter what genre, what era, whether it's a popular song or a song that nobody's ever heard of. It's the same. There's a technical aspect to it, a technical activity that you're going to get to work on. And that's what makes playing fingerstyle much, in my mind, much more interesting than just approaching this instrument as a folk instrument. Okay. What we're going to do now, we're going to play the melody. That's guitar melody line in your book. And we've got a lot of twos. So those are going to be your middle finger. A lot of threes, going to be your ring finger. Every once in a while, a one's going to sneak in there. Okay. So that's going to be your index finger on one. And that's it. Okay. And the very last note, by the way, let's talk about that very last note. Um, measure 18. You're going to come out of this bum, 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 bum. Okay. And the little wiggly thing above there is called a vibrato. Okay. I like to use either my ring or my pinky. And that's how we're going to end this song. So you're going to get your pinky on there, pluck it, and then shake your finger north and south up against this string. Okay. If I use this finger, okay, and you probably can't hear it through my microphone, but I bet you anything you can hear it on your own guitar. Nice little waver. Okay. And all of you want to get where you can do it with any finger. I find I'm much less successful with my index finger because my index finger, of course, is stronger than these other guys. And so he's less willing to let things go, right? He wants to muscle his way through everything. Whereas these guys are pretty used to being out of control. Right? So that's the last note in this song. And you get to that 5, you get a little vibrato in there, and it's beautiful. Okay. All right, let's just play it one time through. No, that's not true. Let's play it 2 times through. Let's talk about that repeat. Okay, at measure 16. You're playing down, you get to measure 16, you're going to go back to the top of the song. What you see at measure 16 is it says 16, and then it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're supposed to play measure 16 7 times. You're going to come through there 7 times. And then the last time through it, measure whatever the last time is. You may not play all of may not play every single verse. Whatever your last verse is, then you skip 16 and play 17 and 18. Chronicle chords. Let's make chronicle chords go away. And off you go, my friend. And so let's play it through twice to get comfy with that repeat. So we will go through, hit the end of 16, go back, play through, play into 15, skip 16, and finish out. Okay, so do the first repeat, and then we'll do the second repeat. We'll play it through twice. And I apologize, I keep hitting this thing. It's probably sending unpleasant tones into your speaker. From the top, positional playing. We're going to talk about chord melody playing in a second. Right now, we are just positional playing. 1, 2. I blew it pretty bad, like really bad. I want to start from the beginning. I don't know what happened. I think my mind went to, I saw that 1 coming and I got on the wrong string and then I could not repair it. Okay. So in performance, you got to keep going. When you're here with me, especially when I blow it, we just start over. Okay. Don't do that in real life though. Here we go from the top. 1, 2. top. I went into the first repeat again. I'm supposed to go back and do it again. So the ending correctly would be do, 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 do. And that's what you're after. Um, for some, my brain is having a hard time staying connected to what I'm supposed to be doing. I think what I was really thinking of is how inefficient all of the twos are. They're on all these different strings, and I'm so inefficient to be here and then here and then here and then back here and over here and then down to here. Very inefficient. Whereas if you just grab the chord, you can get all of those much more conveniently. And so that's what takes us into the tough axe discussion. Okay. And this is a level 2 song. And what happens at level 2 is I'm starting to teach in my local classes here. This is A chord, this is Z chord. We're going to go back and forth and get comfortable switching between those two. The next thing I'm thinking is, all right, in level 1, they already learned how to play melody. So this is stuff we got to just continue to work on and keep that maintenance up. So being able to play a straight line melody is something that at level 2, I sort of expect you to be able to do. And especially a song like this where it never goes above 3, you should be able to read through that and play, maybe not at that speed, but should be able to play through and get the melody to come out of your guitar. And then at level 2, this is where we start those discussions about tough axe. And it's by the end of level 2, which is 8 weeks into the guitar program, almost everybody can play a tough axe song from book 2. Almost everybody. There are occasionally somebody who's struggling and they need to take it 4 more weeks, come back and take the level 2 class again. Most people take the level 2 class 3 or 4 times because it takes a while to get through the whole book. And the skill set here, you really want to be in pretty good shape on this skill set to go into level 3, because level 3 we take the shackles off. Whatever the chords are, they are. Whatever the melody is, it is. And so it's quite a jump from level 2 to level 3. And then when a couple nights ago, when we had our level 4 one song concert, Bill made a comment. Boy, there's quite a difference between level 3 and level 4. And yeah, those are big jumps, right? That's why you want to get good and solid at this level. And it's why we begin that conversation about tough axe. We may not finish the conversation, but at least get you into that program. And here's what we do. When you're playing fingerstyle, you're grabbing that A chord. Okay, that's the first thing, the first chord, and you're noticing I'm holding a whole bunch of 2s down, and you look at that first measure, first 3 measures, almost all 2s, right? You got a little bit of a change coming up there at the end of measure 3, but a lot of 2s, and just by holding the A chord, you're going to hold almost everything down. Okay, so first 2 notes are the 2 2s out there by themselves. Let's do those. And then with your thumb, starting on the 5th string, 0 2 2. Hit the 2 again on measure or on string 4. Then you're going to hit 2 2 2 on strings 4 3 and 2. And again, and then back to string 3. And then a full A chord here at measure 3. And then I'm going to hit the 0, and I have had to move nothing, okay? Just by grabbing that A chord, nothing's had to move. I've played all of those notes just by having this one thing held down here. Now I've got a 3. I got choices here. I can either add my pinky, or I can slide my ring finger up and then slide it back. I don't think there's a right answer to that. I think you'll decide which makes more sense for you in the moment. But if I'm coming in at measure 3, I think the least amount of work is to add the pinky on. Now, a lot of times our pinky isn't tough yet. Okay, we're level 2 players. We're not have no control over our pinky yet, and so a lot of times that feels safer. Okay? Either of those is 100% legitimate, though. You can do either of those when you're playing. And then at measure 4, you're going to grab your E7. And I just hit that top string accidentally. I needed to do a rest stroke where my thumb physically rests on that string, doesn't go anywhere. Okay, I'm already holding the next 2 down. It's just a pretty note. It's just to fill up space. And then you do O2. And I'm going to slide my ring forward up to get the 3. Or I could have, after playing the 2 with my ring, add my 3 on with my pinky. Either of those are acceptable. Hit the 3 again. Lose the 3. 2-0, and then go back to your A chord. Back to an E7. Rest stroke on 1. And then you're going to have to make a motion here. The melody note is not in the chord. So you're going to take your middle finger, add it on here. You could also add your ring finger on if you wanted to keep this string held down and let it keep ringing. You can also just add your ring finger there. Okay, and then everything's already held down. And then go to measure 8, grab your A chord again, play 3 strings. Okay, and then now we go into the chorus after hitting the 0, right? That's just a pretty note so that we don't go too fast. Now hit your 2s, 3 strings, hit the 2, 3 strings, and a full A chord here. You get that 3 either with your ring or your pinky. Hit the 2 and then go to E7. Rest stroke on the first string and then go back up here and hit the 2. And hit the 0. And then 0, 1, 3. Hit the 2. Measure 14, go to your A chord. Hit the 2. Hit 2, 2. And then go to your A chord, E7 chord. Probably add your ring finger, makes the most sense. And then an A chord. Decorative note on that 0. And then the next 2 2s send you back to the top of the song. You're going to play that song 8 times through, right? Okay. When you come around the last time, you skip measure 16. You're going to grab that A chord at the beginning of 17. And a 2, you're already holding it down. Hit the O. And then here's the hard chord in the song. You're going to do a bar, first 4 strings, add your pinky up on 5. Okay, and that's how we finish the song. This shape here is going to come up so much in your life. Don't hate it quite yet. Okay, because it is going to come up a lot. It's one of the chords it's a bit of a stretch. It's one of these, as we talk about often, how much work your pinky is going through in fingerstyle guitar. It really you use your pinky a lot. It's going to get very strong, very agile, very capable of doing stuff, but it's not necessarily going to enjoy that journey of getting it where you can do that. Okay, and if you can't do it, you're going to play just a regular A chord and then maybe add the 5. Okay, and you can do that as well. Okay. All right. Let's play it through. Let's do 3 times through. 3 times through to wrap up the day. Do everything you think you can do your best, right? If you miss something, you miss something. Move on to the next measure and wait for us to catch up with you. If you don't make mistakes, I'm going to feel gypped because I make a lot of mistakes. Here we go. From the top. 1, 2. wrong button. Sorry, guys. Let me go back a second. From the top. To the top. Second ending. Hold on to that last chord till the guitar starts ringing out. Pele, what's that zigzag mark above 5 in measure 18? So above that 5 in measure 18, I think we talked about that right before you walked in, Bailey. We're going to take either our pinky and just give it a little wiggle, okay? It's called vibrato, right? When you see violin players, this is their life. They spend all day long shaking their finger up and down like this to get that beautiful violin waver out of that. So that's what's going on there. I don't let up on the string at all. In fact, I probably bear down on it a little bit. Yeah, I'm not letting up on it at all. I find that the closer I am up to the fret wire, the little more successful I am. Okay. That's what I'm doing. I'm probably pressing a tiny bit harder than I would usually do. What I don't want in a vibrato is to lift up and end up with that kind of crummy sound that makes when you don't get it down tight enough. That's the sound that you're really trying to avoid when you're doing a vibrato. You want to get that quaver in there, but you don't want to have necessarily anything else going on. So if you're going up, you can tend to get a little buzz, and probably not the best choice. Okay, you can technically do with a whole chord, but it's not very easy. Okay, I have seen guys do it. I don't necessarily think if I'm doing this last chord, right, I'm probably gonna just dump the vibrato. I just find it's just too difficult for me. I do see that some guys are able to do it, but I certainly am not there. So, all right, that's guitar lesson. We didn't talk about the pickup count, which we should. Notice measure 0. You've got 2 notes there, but they're just one beat. Okay, so it's 1, 2. in a cavern. These days, I actually write actual rests in front of that, so I don't ever have a pickup note officially anymore. I think for newer players, that's confusing. Once you've been around a while, a pickup note is a pickup note. You don't think much about it, but it is a little confusing in the beginning. But you got two counts and then in a cavern. Um, the other thing we didn't talk about on the standard notation, we've got a dotted eighth note followed by a 16th note. And so that's supposed to be fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, more of a galloping feel. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling Clementine. So you get a little bit more of a galloping feeling into it. That's that swing time we hear in music a lot. And that's usually, you'll see that in the standard notation, the chords and lyric line, that you've got a dot after the note, and then the next note is a real short one. And that's what we would call, we get that swing feeling to it. Waltz time, that's anytime you see a song that's in three, people are going to say, a teacher will say, when we have a song in three, what do we call that? And somebody smart will say, waltz time. So that's what it is. Anytime there's in three, four time, we call it waltz time. And the decorative notes, we just added those in as we went along, extra notes. I will put decorative notes into tough uke arrangements, tough axe arrangements, because on a long note, I don't want to come in early. And so I'll just put in an extra quarter note in there, and just a decorative note that's already in the chord, just to give me something to do while I'm waiting for my turn to play the next note. So you'll see decorative notes in a lot of my arrangements, and frankly, in all music, in those long notes, when the singer is singing this, oh, my darling Clementine, and you'll see it's very normal for the band then to go link or something underneath that to give them something to do while the singer is finishing this big long note of theirs. And then we talked about vibrato in number 18, Pele's question about what the heck is that little wiggly thing there. So that's what's going on with Clementine. Hopefully that's going smoothly for you. You guys are all serious musicians. I don't think that, I think there's lots to be studied in this piece. I also think it's sort of, I don't know, it's got a pleasant little memory melody without being super hard to play. Hopefully it's not too hard for you to play, and hopefully the song's coming out of your guitar pretty well. That's it for today. Tomorrow we start level one again. So if you are if you happen to know anybody who says, "Oh, I'd sure like to learn how to play guitar," have them stop in tomorrow. I start with Brother John tomorrow. That's where we talk about how do you hold this darn ukulele. Ukulele, we don't spend near as much time talking about. This is a big darn instrument. How in the heck do you hold it properly? How do you tune it properly? And so we start that level one class again from the very beginning, and just give people a good idea of what kind of guitar. uh, I don't really talk about what kind of guitar to buy. Everybody has the wrong guitar. That's one of the things I have figured out, is that basically everybody has the wrong guitar. Everybody should be playing a smaller guitar for the most part. But if you know somebody who is thinking, or who you heard, hey, I'd like to learn how to play guitar, tomorrow's a great day for them to get started. So have a great night, you guys. It's a beautiful day outside. I think everybody in the room, I think, except for maybe a couple people that I don't know hiding out up in here in the widget, are from Colorado. We have a beautiful day outside. Might be a great time to just set things down, put a mask on, and go outside. So hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here, and hopefully your guitar life is getting better, a little bits at a time. And I will see some of you tomorrow, and some of you don't need to come to Brother John. So I will see you Thursday night for Girl from Ipanema, right? Is it Girl from Ipanema we're working on this week? That's the latest, right? Yeah, Girl from Ipanema is Thursday night. So those of you guys with a little bit of skill should be working up your Girl from Ipanema. That there's one chord in there that is Baruto, and so you probably want to be working on that piece as well. Have a great day, you guys. I will see all of you. Mahalo, Pele, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Kathy, thanks for stopping in, and whoever else is hiding up here in the chat box or in the widget. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well. And I will see you tomorrow or the next day.